Yes.
Jeremy, we ready?
Yes, sir.
Welcome, everybody. Excited about the win. You know, opening games are always crazy anyway, and then you add the pandemic to it, all the things that have happened with the social injustice and the roller coaster that these kids and coaches across the country have been on. It's a true credit to them for them to be able to come and play a game, and give Syracuse credit. I thought they played hard throughout. I really thought the defense played well throughout the game. I wish we'd forced some turnovers. We've got to do a better job in that area. It was a concern last year, and we didn't get any today. The kicking game made so many different mistakes the first half. They played much better the second half. There's some things in our kicking game that can really be powerful and help us this year. And offensively, I thought we probably scored too quickly and felt like it was going to be an easy day, and then had some lapses against a new defense, and they were blitzing and moving all over the place, and we had inconsistencies, and the 2 turnovers really hurt us. And then the second half, we settled down and became the offense that we thought we wanted to be coming into the ball game. So I thought with all the things that have happened with Coach Babers in preseason, with some kids opting out, and I thought his team played really hard, and they should be very, very proud of the effort that they gave. But I'm proud of our kids, proud of the second half, and our goal was to be 1-0. We are, and we'll get ready for Charlotte here starting tomorrow. Questions?
Okay, first up, Andrew Jones, go ahead, unmute yourself.
Hey, Coach, a lot of the talk last 5 weeks is about improving the pass rush, and 7 sacks today. What was key? So much.
Andrew, I couldn't hear the last part, but I did hear the part where you asked about improving the pass rush. I think I was just trying to make them mad, because they've got some talent in there. But I think the biggest difference in our defense is that we're too deep and we have fresh legs. And that really helps us more than last year. Tamon Fox got really tired last year at times. But there's a lot of guys out there that can rush the passer now, and I thought they did a very, very good job of that today. But being able to play too deep on defense will help us in special teams, because so many of those guys are on special teams, and it'll really help us cover and our pass rush. But I was really, really proud of those guys up front. They really didn't give DeVito very much time to throw. I can't hear you, Andrew. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Sorry, Andrew. We have to move on to the next one. Dina King, go ahead, Dina.
Hey, Coach. Dina King, Tar Heel Illustrated. You mentioned about the defensive front. That was one of your big concerns heading into the season. Give a grade on some of those guys: Tamari Fox, Ray Vahasic, Tamon Fox. How do you think they did?
I kept seeing, well, we knew Tamon was a good player. He's a good player every day. But I kept seeing Tamari show up and Ray Vahasic show up. And those guys penetrated. They made some plays for loss. And those 3 guys are really, really good. Tyrone Hopper got cramps at one point, so he had to come out. We've got to make sure that he and Chris Collins continue to grow at that position. And then we've got to bring Desmond Evans, who didn't play today, and Kamen Rucker, who played quite a bit in the fourth quarter. We've got to bring them on so we can keep fresh guys there. Miles Murphy played some in the fourth quarter, and I thought he made a few plays. And then you've got Zach Gill and Kevin Hester, who I'm not sure he played. I didn't think he did. Varner might have played a little bit. So there's enough bodies and fresh legs there that we should have a good pass rush.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move over to Jared Fialco. Jared, go ahead.
Mac, I'm guessing right after the game ended and you had that large gathering on your field, that's in lieu of the post-game speech that you'd normally do in a locker room. I was wondering if that's the case, and if anything else kind of felt wildly different on a game day perspective / scenario than the normal, I guess.
I told them that if they wanted me to, I would dance in front of the fans. And since there weren't any there, I thought it was a great opportunity to do that. But that's a joke. It wasn't a very good one, but it was a joke. No, I thought our two game-like scrimmages really helped us today, and I didn't see much difference. It seemed like our guys had their mask on when they were supposed to, and the coaches did a good job keeping their mask on. We didn't have substitution issues, which I thought we would, and we communicated pretty well, even better in the second half than we did the first half, but it's just so weird that there's absolutely no crowd noise. Even when you have the music or the noise over the loudspeaker, when you're looking up, it's like a scrimmage, because you look up and there's just nothing. And so the young people have to create their own energy. And I said on game day before the show, and I think this is really true for all of us, we're playing without the traditions that we play with. It's still football. It's still against somebody else. You still want to win. It's still very competitive, but you don't have the bell tower walk. You don't have your recruits here. You don't have fans cheering you when you come in and not. You don't have students. You don't have the band. It's just, so all of the pageantry that we have is just gone right now. And we've got to understand that, and that's the only way we can play. But we felt like that we would go in at halftime because it was quite easy. But if you go in after a win and everybody's singing in a smaller dressing room and they're really excited, and some may not have their mask on, that it was just a safer move for us to do all of our talking outside. So we've said as long as there's no fans in the stands and there's not weather issues, then we will meet outside after the game before we go in. And I talked to Dino Babers before the game last Wednesday, I think, and just said, he and I waved after the game was over. Our players and their players waved because, again, it's just safer if you don't get a lot of guys together hugging and with their buddies and high-fiving. And I think a few of the coaches might have had some conversation, but we wanted to be really, really safe after the game was over.
Thank you, Mac.
Thank you.
Let's move over to Bridget Condon. Bridget, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, going off on that, I know you had a big push this week and the past couple of weeks about having players' parents there. What was the biggest thing that you didn't notice? And could you kind of feel players in maybe big moments look up there out of routine, looking for their parents?
I couldn't feel the team looking for their parents because I just stayed too busy. I didn't think about it. In fact, when I walked out, we ended up we had 25 tickets and we gave them to our seniors for their families. And that's all we had. So there were 25 people in the stands. And that was it. So, and I let Corey Holliday and the leadership committee decide how the seniors would divide the tickets. I think they got 2 each. So other than that, there were just absolutely no fans. In fact, when I looked up and saw a couple sitting in there, I said, who's that? And then I remembered our seniors did get in. But it is still very disappointing for me and for our team not to have the families of our players there. I don't think it's safe for their mental health to watch them play. Many of these parents have told me this is the first time they've ever missed any sporting event in their life, in their history. So I hate that for them. And then we've told the players, you're going to go out with your parents tonight because many of them came to town and just couldn't see the game. So be smart and be careful and still wear your mask. And we want to play next week. And don't make decisions tonight while you're really excited that could hurt you next week.
Okay, move over to Greg Barnes. Greg, go ahead.
Mac, you talked about how mistakes were going to happen given how things have played out this offseason. Obviously, you'll fix the corrections, but is this a game where you focus more on the positives and don't worry about the negatives so much?
Greg, in your first ball game, you usually are fixing so many things anyway. And with us, we felt like it's probably a great opener for us because there's a lot of things we've got to fix. And at the same time, they can see that we have a chance to be really good because there were so many positives that we can build off of, but you can coach them much harder and be a lot more critical of them with the concerns that you have when you win. And we played a lot of people, so that's always good for morale as well. So we'll celebrate tonight. We'll be really excited tonight, and then tomorrow we'll really get after them. If you heard our meetings tomorrow, you'd think we would have lost the game.
Thanks.
Next up is Brendan Marks. Brendan, go ahead.
Hey, Mac. Sam was sacked twice, took a couple other hits. I know Josh didn't end up playing today. Where were the breakdowns coming there for you, and how much is your level of concern with the offensive line and protecting him?
I will have to wait and see that. It was hard to see. They were doing a lot of twisting and bringing an extra player. So I'm sure it was probably just somebody that missed. I know, in fact, on a run on 3rd down and 4, we got hit in the backfield, and we had an offensive guard just absolutely whiffed because they were trying to move every play, and they were undersized compared to us. So I thought Sam did a really good job changing up his snap count to keep them off balance, but they moved and blitzed every play, and earlier in the game, we just missed some. And Sam did a good job of getting rid of the ball most of the day. But we don't want to throw 2 interceptions, and we don't want to have those sacks. I mean, that's just who we are.
What is your level of concern with Josh?
With Josh.
With Joshua, is he?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Josh Azudu, coach.
Oh, I have none. He will be back soon. So.
Thank you.
The biggest, I'm sorry. The biggest concern I have with him is that he didn't play, and he's our best offensive lineman, and he can substitute in 4 spots. So that really hurt us. And hopefully he might play next week, but if not, the open week he'll definitely be able to play by Boston College. But that'll be up to the medical team and Jerem.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, coach. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you all.
Okay. Our first question is, or it will come from CL Brown. CL, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I can't see who's at the mic, who's at the podium.
Yeah.
So they can't see him.
Yeah. Sorry. Who's at the mic?
Javonte Williams, I believe.
Is it Javonte? Okay. It's Javonte Williams. Sorry. I'm having a hard time too.
Javonte, I was wondering, in the second half when you guys scored on those 4 straight possessions, what was the difference in terms of the explosive plays you guys were able to pop? It's on each one of those drives you had at least one play of more than 20 yards.
I think we just had to get back in our rhythm. We ain't really played and got tackled since December, so we had a lot of time off, and with Zoom and practices and things like that, we haven't really been tackling, so we just had to get back in our rhythm. And once the second half started, we just came together and made plays.
And could you tell the difference in Syracuse defense as in where they was fatigue setting in, where you guys wearing them down?
Yes, I feel like they got more tired in the second half, and once we started scoring, it seemed like they kind of faded away a little bit.
All right, let's move over to Mike Toper. Mike, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Javonte, congrats on the win, man. I was wondering if you could just describe for us what it was like, coming out of the stadium, warming up, and then ultimately playing in front of no fans here.
At first, I thought it was gonna be kind of weird, not having fans in the stadium. But once the game started, we kind of just drowned it out, and it felt like we were just playing a regular game and just doing what we always do.
Okay, let's move over to Gregory Hall. Gregory, go ahead.
Hey, Javonte, how does you and Michael Carter being able to catch balls out of the backfield, how does that open up your guys' offense? It seemed like that really helped get things going in the second half.
I like catching the ball more than running because it's just a lot of space on the edge. And usually when you catch the ball in the swing, you really got to just make one person miss, and it's really wide open opposed to running the ball and you got everybody in the box. So just things like that on the perimeter, just making the linebackers run side to side, just trying to wear them down. And the thing about me and Mike, once he gets tired, I can come in, but the linebackers, they really can't switch. as easy as we can. So I feel like we just wear them down, and when the big play comes, we just got to make it.
And after the first half struggles, what can you take away from this week to prevent that moving forward?
I feel like we just got to come in focused and locked in. Like I said, it's been a long time since we got tackled and things like offensive linemen being able to cut and things like that, things we don't do in practice. And I feel like this game really helped us because it showed us like how football is, and we got back in our groove. And I feel like it's just gonna carry over to next week.
Thank you.
All right, last one for you, Javonte. Andrew Jones, go ahead. All right, you're not hearing, are you? Sorry, Andrew, for some reason your mic's not working. We're gonna go to Bridget Condon. Bridget, go ahead.
Hey, Javonte, how did it feel to finally get this one game, under your belt and officially kick off the season? There was a lot of doubt about this season. And then at the same way, we've already seen a game canceled next weekend. Are you kind of on edge as we move forward about, okay, we played this one, but we have to make sure we're continuing to stay safe?
Yes, ma'am. Like you said, the game can get canceled at any time, so we just got to prepare like we're gonna play, and that's what we've been doing the whole time. Like coming back over the summer, we didn't even know if we was gonna play the first game, but I feel like everybody locked in and we worked hard, and it showed today. My fault.
Great, Javonte, thank you so much for your time. Welcome, Tamari.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Our first question comes from Ross Martin. Ross, go ahead.
Hey, Tamari, it seemed like you were in the backfield the majority of the game. What worked for you today against the Syracuse offensive line?
First off, I want to thank, God for putting me in a position to be able to do the things I do today. And second, I want to thank my teammates for helping me get to the point where I'm at. What helped me get to the backfield, honestly, it was everybody else around me. It just so happened to be me that was there. Anybody could have made those plays, and I'm really proud of how everybody played out there.
And what'd you see from Raymond Vohasek? It seemed like he was getting a lot of big-time push up front alongside you.
Can you say that again?
What did you see from Ray Vohasek? It seemed like he was getting a big-time push right alongside you on the defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something he does every day. I mean, he's known for being super physical. He told me to come in here and tell y'all he gets at least half a sack for, I think, that second one I got. And I said, all right, I'll let him know. But I don't expect anything less from him. He's just an absolute dog, and he brings that kind of violence and intensity to him every day and every play.
All right, thanks, Tamar.
Greg Barnes, you are up next. Go ahead, Greg.
Tamar, given the ups and downs of the past 6 months or so, how good did it feel to finally get out there and knock the rust off?
I won't lie, I kind of had those first game jitters all over again just because of how long it's been. But, we practice against one of the top offenses in the country every single day. And we dominate them too. So for me, it was just routine. The big emphasis for today was, being the best versions of ourselves. We weren't going to see the same Syracuse that was put on tape last year. I mean, they had 6 months to prepare. They could have changed absolutely anything. So our big emphasis was just, who are we, and make sure that's who we're showing on the field. And I think we did that today.
Thanks, Tamar.
All right, Brennan Marks, you're up next.
Tamar, you mentioned you guys getting to practice against, the number one, one of the top offenses in the country. So much hype about those guys, but you guys really just locking everything down today. What is the potential of this group, and sort of how do you use this as a foundational point moving forward?
I think today sets the bar, and all of us know that we were not perfect today. I think if I were to ask them now, we would all agree that, there were lots of things we could have done better. And we just use that as motivation every single day to come in and give everything we got. I think our ceiling is absolutely through the roof. You can't put a cap on us. We have a lot of talented guys who are out there. We have a lot of talented guys waiting to get in there. I mean, people like Miles Murphy, this is his first game. he's going and he's doing his thing. Got a TFL or two. You know, Tony Grimes, he's supposed to be in high school right now, but he's out there competing at a very high level. So, you know, Kamen Rucker, he got a sack his first game of college. You know, we got people working. Our ceiling is absolutely through the roof.
Thank you.
All right, Tamari, thank you so much for your time today, bud.
Of course, I appreciate y'all.
And Chaz Surratt, he plays linebacker for the University of North Carolina. Chaz, you'll see it. Mark will walk you through.
All right, Chaz. First question is coming from Dina King. Dina, go ahead.
Hey, Chaz, congrats on the win. You guys gave up 6 points, about 200 yards today. What's your opinion on y'all's performance today?
Played pretty good on the defensive side of the ball. I'm really just proud of how we played. We got put in some tough spots, them being on our side of the field a few times, and we were able to hold them out. So I'm really proud and happy with how we played on defense.
And how happy are you just to be on the field first game this year?
I think this was probably the most excited I've been for a game, dating back to when I was a little kid, just not knowing if we were going to play or not this year, and getting the opportunity to go out there and play with the guys, I have so much respect for and was looking forward to play with. I think that meant a lot.
Thank you.
All right, let's go over to Mike Toper. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Chaz, congrats on the win, man. I wanted to ask you, what was it like being out there in big moments, for example, when you get a sack or a big stop and not having the crowd noise or kind of the student section cheering you on and everybody in the stands like you normally would? What was that like?
Not having the fans out there, but the thing we just preached was trying to play off each other throughout the game. Playing, if somebody makes a big play, the rest of the guys are there to celebrate with them to get the juice going. I think we did a pretty good job at that, but I think we can be better as far as that aspect. I think now that we didn't really know what to expect going in, but I think now we have a good grasp of how game day is going to be.
Okay, let's go over to Jacob Turner. Jacob, go ahead.
Chaz, you guys had 7 sacks, 11 tackles for loss today. What made the pass rush so successful today?
I just think the people we got up front, Tamari, Taman, Ray, me and Gimel can both blitz, and Hop can come off the edge. I think just the personnel and the way Coach Bateman utilizes us, and then as well as our secondary is really good, really good. So they kind of buy time for us to go get back there and make plays on the quarterback. I think a combination of that is just what led to that many sacks today.
All right, next up, Luke Buxton. Luke, go ahead.
Guys, I was wondering what happened on the first half play when you got banged up early in the game.
I was going 2 to 3, and I tried to make a play on the ball, and I just got the breath knocked out of me. It took me like a second to get back, but they wanted me to come out for a play, so I came out, and I was good to go the next play, so I ran back out there.
Cool.
Okay, Bridget Condon. Bridget, go ahead.
Hey, Chaz. Coach Brown said that some parents were there of seniors. I was just wondering if your parents were able to come today, and I'll just wait till they were.
Yeah, both my parents were there today, so I was happy to see them out there in the.
Yeah, what does it mean to be able to have them? But then on the flip side of that, a lot of your teammates' parents weren't allowed to be there.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally to have them out there and be able to see them, I know they haven't missed any of my games growing up. I know a lot of the guys wanted their parents there, so I know Coach Brown is working on trying to get that going really hard. So hopefully, the next game our parents can be there. That's what we're hoping for.
All right, last one for Chaz is Ross Martin. Ross, go ahead.
Hey, Chaz, the defense was the strength of the team today and definitely the most consistent factor throughout the game. How good can this defense be for UNC if you are trying to reach your goals with how good the offense potentially could be?
I think our defense is really good. I think a lot of people talked about our offense going into the year. So coming in the game, we kind of took a chip on our shoulder going in, knowing the kind of guys we got playing on the defensive side of the ball. So we were I'm just really glad we played how we were supposed to play, and I think we can be really good on defense. We got a lot of really good guys up front and in the back end. I think the sky's the limit for our defense.
All right, thanks, man.
No problem.
Okay, Chaz, thanks so much for your time.
Thank y'all.
Hey, Sam. First question will come from CL Brown. CL, go ahead.
Hey, Sam. I was wondering with the explosive plays in the second half, what kind of opened up for you guys? You weren't able to get those big chunks of yards in the first half, but on those possessions in the second.
Yeah, really, we just had to come together and settle down. We kind of weren't playing like ourselves in the first half. They were doing some different things on the defense side of the ball, so we just had to adjust a little bit at halftime and just come out ready to go in the second half.
What kind of adjustments did you make? Like, what did you take away that Syracuse was doing effectively in the first half?
Yeah, well, they play with their secondary. They're playing really deep. They're kind of bailing on everything, so we knew our deep game wasn't really going to be there, so we just had to take the underneath stuff and just take what they were giving us. So once we settled down and started doing that, things started opening up.
Thanks.
Okay, JB Ricks, go ahead, JB.
Hey, Sam, congrats on the win. That first drive, you guys looked like you had the flow. It looked like you guys had the excitement of finally playing somebody other than your own teammates. And then after that, the offense just went into a funk. How much of the atmosphere or lack thereof was a catalyst in you guys not being able to keep that rhythm that you established on your first drive?
Yeah, I wouldn't blame it on the atmosphere. Really, there was just a couple plays. Really, we were killing drives with one play, one mistake. We were just killing drives off of that. So we just got to stay consistent and play clean football every drive because, like at any time, we can have one bad play and it kills the drive. And that's what was happening a lot in the first half. So we just got to make sure we can stay consistent and just play consistent football.
All right, appreciate you.
Okay, Greg Barnes, you're up next, Greg.
Sam, given the known quantities on this offense and that you played with all these guys, when you go through a period there where you're not executing at the highest level, I'm assuming there's no stress, there's no worry about it. You just know that hey, we didn't get it this time, next time we'll be more confident and it'll move smoothly.
Yeah, definitely. We just got to come together as a team. It's our mistakes. It's not anything that they're doing that's causing problems. It's us causing our own problems. So as long as we clean those problems up, then we'll move the ball. But yeah, there really is no stress. We know what we're capable of doing on the offensive side of the ball. So we just had to do what we had to do and just limit the mistakes, and we started moving the ball.
And Max talked about how he expected mistakes to be early in the season. Did you guys expect there to be some rust you'd have to work through anyway?
Honestly, no. I think we've had a lot of time to repair, so I'm not going to use the excuse that there should be mistakes. I think we hold ourselves to a high standard, so we got to clean those mistakes up. And no, I'm definitely not going to use what's going on as an excuse for the mistakes we had today. I think there's a lot of things that we could have cleaned up. I definitely could have played a little better. Turned the ball over twice today, so definitely got to clean those plays up. But yeah, overall we had a good game on offense, but definitely there's no excuse for the mistakes that I had or our team had today.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, let's go to Brendan Marks. Brendan, go ahead.
Hey, Sam, I was just going to ask, what did you see on that second interception, the deep toss? Did it just hang short, or did the guy come out of nowhere? What was it you were looking at there?
Yeah, I was trying to look the safety off, and I thought I did a good job of that. He kind of flew to the right side of the field, so I thought I was going to be able to get the throw in there to Diami, but that kid's a good player, so I shouldn't have thrown the ball, even though I tried to look him off. But yeah, he made a good play, and I'm going to learn from it.
Thank you.
All right, last one, Gregory Hall. Go ahead.
Sam, what did you see out of Javonte Williams and Michael Carter that got things going in the second half to kind of open up the offense for y'all?
Yeah, those are two really good players. They both had a really good game today. A lot of people talk about the passing game and the receivers, but Syracuse, they're playing very soft in the secondary, so our running backs had to take advantage of it. Really those two guys are the engine of this offense. If we get a run game established, then we can play with anybody. So, and credit to the O-line. The O-line did a really, really good job all game long of keeping me clean in the pocket and giving those guys holes to run through, and then the rest is them just making plays in space. They made a lot of people miss today. Javonte ended up having, I think, 3 touchdowns, and Michael did a really good job getting us into the red zone and stuff like that. So I'm definitely very proud of those guys, and they're going to have a big year, both of them.
Michael Carter ended up being your number 2 wide receiver today. How does that help the offense in total, being able to get those swing passes to them and get them in open space?
Both our running backs, we're trying to kind of implement them in the passing game a little bit more. Everyone's so worried about our receivers, and our backs are some really good receivers as well. So if we have all our receivers and the backs included in our pass game, along with our tight end, Garrett Walston, then we're going to be really hard to stop. So that's kind of something we've kind of worked in the offseason, just getting them involved in the passing game, because last year they really weren't involved in the passing game a whole lot. So that's something we try to work on in the offseason.
Thanks, and I like the bling too.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, Sam, thanks so much.
Yeah.